Today, we're diving deep into the incredible story of the 2001 New York State quarter dollar. From its design and history to the shocking mint errors that make a few of them worth more than a brand new luxury car, this is a video you don't want to miss. Stick with me until the end, because what you learn today might just change the way you look at every quarter in your pocket. The background. To understand why the New York quarter is so important, we need to go back to 1999, when the U.S. Mint launched the 50-state quarters program for the first time. Each state would get its own unique design, released in the order they joined the Union. The program was an instant success. Over 147 million Americans collected these quarters, making it the most popular coin program in history. By 2001, the third year of the series, the next 5 states were honored. The rarest and most valuable errors. Wrong planchet errors. $8,000 to $9,000. Double denomination errors. $20,000 to $40,000. Major off-center strikes. $5,000 to $10,000. Double strikes error. $7,000 to $15,000. Auction sales records proof value. These aren't just theoretical prices. Collectors have paid staggering amounts for these coins. 2001 New York quarter struck on Sacagawea dollar planchet sold for $70,000. Double denomination error. Quarter struck over a dime sold for $76,000. Major off-center strike 60% sold for $80,000. Double strike with flip over sold for $12,500. Clipped planchet sold for $2,200. How to identify one in your pocket. So how can you tell if your New York quarter is a jackpot coin? Weigh it. A normal quarter weighs 5.67 grams. Anything significantly heavier or lighter could mean an error. Check the color. Golden tones. It may be struck on a Sacagawea planchet. Look for design shifts. Off-centers, double strikes, and clips are usually obvious even without a magnifier. Examine the edge. Quarters normally have reeded edges. If yours has a smooth or unusual edge, that's a major clue. Get it certified. Send it to PCGS or NGC. Authentication is essential if you want to get top dollar. Why collectors pay so much? Why would someone pay $80,000 for a quarter? Scarcity. Only a few exist. Historical importance. The New York quarter was the first state quarter of the new millennium. I appeal. Dramatic errors are visually stunning. Auction competition. When two wealthy collectors want the same coin, the price skyrockets. Today, we're diving deep into the world of the 2006 North Dakota State quarter dollar, one of the most beautiful coins of the state quarter series, but also one that hides some of the most spectacular and valuable mint errors ever struck by the U.S. Mint. Stick with me until the very end, because I'm going to reveal not only the rarest errors and their jaw-dropping values, but also how you might still find one of these coins in circulation today. Who knows, the coin could be sitting in your pocket right now. The background. The 50-state quarters program ran from 1999 to 2008 and became the most successful coin program in U.S. history. Over 147 million Americans participated, and the mint struck more than 34 billion quarters across the series. By 2006, the program was entering its later years, and the state of North Dakota was one of the 5 featured that year, alongside Nevada, Nebraska, Colorado, and South Dakota. North Dakota's design stood out as a favorite among collectors. The rarest and most valuable errors. Wrong planchet errors. $86,000 to $90,000. Double denomination errors. $40,000 to $60,000. Major off-center strikes. $10,000 to $15,000. Double strikes error. $7,000 to $12,000. Auction sales records proof value. Here are some of the real sales that stunned the coin collecting world. 2006 North Dakota quarter struck on a Sacagawea dollar planchet sold for $86,250. Double denomination quarter struck over a dime sold for $83,000. Major off-center strike 65% sold for $86,000. Double strike with flip over sold for $90,000. Clipped planchet error sold for $2,500. These aren't just coins, they're life-changing finds. How to identify one in your change. So how can you tell if your North Dakota quarter is worth a fortune? Here's what to look for. Weigh the coin. Normal quarters weigh 5.67 grams. Anything heavier or lighter suggests a wrong planchet. Check the color. Golden hue could be struck on a Sacagawea blank. Look for obvious design shifts. Off-centers, double strikes, or clips are easy to spot with the naked eye. Inspect the edges. Missing reading or smooth edges can be a red flag for an error. Certification is key. Send to PCGS or NGC for authentication. Collectors pay top dollar only for certified coins. Why collectors pay so much? Why would someone pay $90,000 for a quarter? Scarcity, only a handful exist. Dramatic appearance, wrong planchet or double denomination errors are instantly eye-catching. Historical significance as part of the legendary state quarter program, these errors are iconic. Auction wars when wealthy collectors compete, the sky's the limit. We're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and valuable modern coins in U.S. history, the 1999 P Connecticut State Quarter Dollar, with rare errors that have sold for staggering amounts, some reaching. Now, you might be thinking, how can a regular state quarter be worth tens of thousands of dollars? Well, the answer lies in the incredible story behind America's state quarter program, the errors that slipped past the U.S. Mint, and the collectors who are willing to pay a fortune for these numismatic treasures. The background. The year was 1999, a historic turning point for American coinage. For the first time in over 200 years, the U.S. Mint decided to completely transform the look of the nation's quarter. Instead of a single reverse design, they launched the 50 State Quarters program, where each state would be honored with its own unique design. Released in the order the states entered the Union, the Connecticut quarter stood out instantly. Its intricate design of the sprawling charter oak was unlike anything collectors had ever seen on a U.S. coin. The rare 1999 P Connecticut errors. Wrong planchet errors, $10,000 to $15,000. Off-center strikes, $5,000 to $2,500. Double strikes error, $2,000 to $5,000. Clipped planchet errors, $7,000 to $12,000. Auction records and values. Let's talk real numbers, because this is where it gets jaw-dropping. PCGS certified 1999 P Connecticut quarter on experimental planchet sold for $20,000 at auction. Connecticut quarter on silver dime planchet sold for $30,000. Off-center Connecticut quarter dramatic 60% fetched $27,000. Double strike Connecticut quarter brought in $3,400. Clipped planchet Connecticut quarter sold for around $1,200. And remember, these values keep going up as collectors compete to own the rarest examples. How to identify one in your pocket. Now, you might be wondering, okay, but how would I know if I had one of these treasures? Here's what to look for. Check the weight. A normal quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If yours is lighter or heavier, it could be a wrong planchet error. Look for missing design details. Off-centers, clips, or double strikes are usually visible without magnification. Examine the edge. Quarters normally have reeded edges. If yours has a smooth or unusual edge, it may have been struck on the wrong planchet. Look for unusual color or tone. Experimental planchets often look different, more golden or dull compared to normal quarters. Certification is key. If you suspect you have one, send it to PCGS or NGC for grading and authentication. That's the only way to get top dollar at auction. Why collectors pay so much? You might ask, why would anyone spend $30,000 on a quarter? Historical significance. First year of the state quarter program era. Fascination. Collectors love coins that shouldn't exist. Auction wars. When two wealthy collectors want the same coin, the price skyrockets. That's how a simple quarter becomes a five-figure treasure.